If you want to know how to cook barbecue for an entire party, this is the video for you. Hey guys, I'm Steve from Cookout Coach, where we're all about trying to help you take your barbecue to the next level, no matter what you need. Today what we're going to be talking about is how to cook enough barbecue for an entire party of people. Honestly, one of my favorite things about barbecue is its ability to bring people together to have a good time and enjoy one another's company. And as the saying goes, the more the merrier. So today what we're going to do is show you how I'm going to use 3 different pork primal cuts to cook enough barbecue for roughly 10 to 12 people. The strategy I like to take when I'm doing something like this is I like to kind of think of 2 different main proteins and maybe one as a appetizer or almost a dessert protein. Today the 3 primals we're going to be using are the pork butt, the pork loin, and the pork belly. Our goal for the end of this cook is to have pulled pork for sandwiches, smoked pork loin people can slice and eat like a pork chop, and pork belly burn-ins that people can eat as an appetizer, even though, let's be honest, if you've had pork belly burn-ins, they will fill you up just like any entree. We're going to show you how to cook for this party all on one grill, which will be our Char Griller Akorn. And just like anything in life, this is going to start out with a good plan. What I like to do first is recognize which protein is going to take the longest to cook. For us, it's going to be our pork butt. It's going to take roughly 7 hours for us to smoke, and I like to give it an hour or 2 to rest before I pull it minimum. Now, if you're new to this, these large cuts like pork butts, where they can rest for a long time, are very forgiving. So if you're not sure what you're doing, give yourself an extra 2 hours on this. So after you've padded your time for your pork butt, for me, I like to count for 9 hours. I'm going to start at the time that we're supposed to be eating at the party, which for me will be noon, and go backwards. So if we're eating at noon, I'm counting 9 hours from the time the butt goes on till it's ready to pull. That means we need to have this pork butt on our cooker at 3 o'clock, which also tells me that I need to get up at 2 o'clock to get my pit lit and give it plenty of time to come up to temperature. You want to repeat this exercise with all of your cuts from the longest cooking to the shortest cooking until you've got all of your timelines down. So let's get started and see exactly how this is going to play out. After lighting the pit at 2 in the morning, we went ahead and started trimming on this pork butt. Now, for a party, for pulling this pork, I don't really worry about trimming it up too much. I get any egregious fat, any spot where I know there's a vein or an artery, I'll go ahead and pull that off. But really, I'm not too worried about this. I like to sort it during the pull. We're going to keep this pork butt super simple. Just a base coat of mustard as a binder for our seasonings. We're going to use Heath Riles Everyday Rub and Heath Riles Sweet BBQ Rub. Go ahead and coat it up real nice and let it sweat. At 3 o'clock, with our pit at 275, our pork butt's going to go right in the middle and just let it go to smoke. And we're going to use some cherry smoke wood today on all of this pork. I want to give these pork belly burn-ins 5 hours to cook. So that means at 7 o'clock, they need to be going on the grill, which means at 6 o'clock, we're going to start cubing it up. We're going to keep these very simple. I'm going to treat them almost like I would with the ribs. I like to hit them with a little bit of sweet heat, so we're going to go with Heath Riles Garlic Jalapeno Rub as a base, and some more of a sweet barbecue rub on top of that. Once they've had just a little time to sweat, we're going to go ahead and get them on the grill, and I'm just going to do my best to put them all around our pork butt. We're going to have a lot of meat on this grill today. It's going to be fantastic. Also, at 4 hours on our pork butt, the color and bark are usually set to my likings. We're going to be an internal of about 145. It doesn't really matter to me though. I'm more about that bark setting up, that rub being set real good. We're just going to go ahead and wrap it to help speed up the process of cooking it, so I stay on timelines that I know. At 9 o'clock, according to our timeline, we've got 2 important things happening. One is, it's time to wrap up these pork belly burn-ins. These are going to be almost like a candy, but today we're going to tone it down just a little bit. We're going to gather up all of our pork belly burn-ins and put them into a pan. I'm going to add 6 ounces of apple juice, which conveniently is one of my children's juice boxes, and just a little bit of brown sugar on that to help with that sweetness. In case you're wondering why we're panning these up right now, it's because heat plus moisture is going to help break down the connective tissue, collagen, and fat in these and make these super melt in your mouth tender. With the foil back on top of the pan, this goes right back on next to our panned up pork butt. And finally at 9, also the last piece to our puzzle, our pork loin. Pork loin is a fantastic primal. It's the ribeye of the pig. You can do so much with this. You can cut it thin for sandwiches. You can cut it thick and essentially achieve prime rib or pork chops. It's a great meat. It's super easy to cook, and it's only going to take us between 2 and 2.5 hours. So we're going to hit it with a mustard binder, And because I've got super sweet pork belly burn ends, I've got medium sweet pork butt that we're going to pull and put barbecue sauce on. We're going to keep this pork loin a little more savory, and I'm just going to use Heath Riles Everyday Rub on this one so that we have different profiles to meet what different people like. That's always something really important to consider when you're serving to multiple people. We're going to slap in our Akorn's expansion rack and get these 2 pieces of loin right on top. That is 1 full Akorn. Now all we have to do is wait for tenderness and temps. The pork butt I like to pull somewhere between 195 and 206. So you need to get your thermometer in there and start watching it. Once it hits 195, start testing it for tenderness. And as soon as it starts to feel like butter when you're poking it with your temp probe, go ahead and get it off, wrap it up, get it in a cooler, and let it rest. The longer it rests, the better it will be. Don't worry about that. After they've had somewhere between 4.5 to 5 hours of total time on the grill, check your pork belly burn ends. If they're super tender, go ahead and get them off. At this point, you could pull them out, add a little bit of barbecue sauce to the juice that's already in there, toss them around and glaze them up. But I'm actually going to wait till I get to the party to glaze these. It'll only take about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to do the same thing we did with the pork butt, wrap these up with a towel, get them in the cooler, they'll hold just fine. Lastly, we've got the pork loin. I like to pull this off right when it hits 145. Pan it up, wrap it up in foil, and put it in that cooler. I've got about a 45-minute drive, but these are going to be absolutely perfect by the time we get to the party. So there it is. I obviously don't have a taste test for you today because I took that food to other people, and I love serving food to other people. And I'll try to ruin a little bit of what it looked like, but they enjoyed it too. It was a great time. We enjoyed each other's company, and it's really one of the main reasons I love barbecue. If you like this cooking, you'd like to see how I cook other pork butts, check out this video where I went down and cooked on some Myron mixed and smokers last year, cooked some delicious pork butt and ribs. But hey, keep an eye out for the next video because we just hit 2,000 subscribers and we're going to be doing an awesome giveaway. But till then, y'all take it easy.